Welcome to the Growth Podcast, Episode 2. Today we are joined by Carrie Muntean, Senior Director of Executive Coaching at ESGI Potomac. Thank you for joining us today, Carrie. Would you mind telling us a little bit about your background?
Sure. So I recently retired from the U.S. Department of State, where I was a senior level diplomat, equivalent of a one-star general in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
I lived and worked in 6 different countries outside the United States: Angola, Panama, Nicaragua, Russia, the UK, and Brazil.
Very diverse.
Very diverse. And I loved every minute of my career in the State Department.
Mm-hmm.
I spent the last several years there learning how to be a coach, a leadership coach specifically. And so I spent several years focusing on how to develop leaders. And that's the skill set that I bring here to ESGI.
And could you tell us a little bit about the services that you provide here currently at ESGI Potomac?
Sure. I'm the director of the executive coaching program here at ESGI Potomac. And basically what that is for any executives who are looking to transition or looking to get a promotion within their current environment, I provide coaching to them about how to dig deeper, what are their values, who are they, who do they want to be in the future, and help them chart a course to get there.
And what are some of the biggest challenges that you or the people that you assist with face when you provide these coaching services and executive leadership services?
I think the biggest challenge most of my prior clients faced when I was in the Department of State was the bureaucracy.
Interesting.
And as you have heard, I'm sure the U.S. government is one huge bureaucracy. And right now, a lot of people in the government are facing a lot more uncertainty than they're accustomed to facing. The U.S. government used to be a guaranteed employer, meaning you felt secure for life. And obviously, just looking at my own agency, they just let more than almost 8% of the domestic workforce go on July 11th. And they only give them a few hours of notice. They walked into work that morning, got an email, and they were shut off from access by the end of that day. So it's definitely a different beast right now in Washington as far as what people can plan for in their career.
Right. So how have you essentially navigated all this uncertainty that's come about in the federal market space?
Well, I decided to retire.
Right.
But basically what I'm trying to do now is help others who either want to stay in the federal government or are facing a difficult decision about whether to stay or go. And if they go, what do they do next? I mean, a lot of people right now with 15 to 20 years of experience in the federal government don't see a future for themselves in the current Department of State or USAID, which was completely eliminated. And so there are a lot of really, really talented colleagues who don't have a place to land right now. And the market is flooded with those people, and there aren't nearly enough jobs for the usual qualifications that they would bring.
Yeah, you point to two big factors, is to your point that you just mentioned, is the market now is being flooded with people who don't see a future in the State Department anymore, right? But you pointed to an interesting fact about how they've had to navigate traditionally very heavy bureaucratic strangleholds in where they used to work, right? How have you experienced any difficulty adjusting from that environment that they were in at the State Department, the federal workforce, and trying to navigate out of that to the private sector?
So I got very lucky in that Courtney found me on LinkedIn and adopted me into ESGI Potomac just a month or so after I retired, actually. And I have found the transition incredibly delightful because ESGI Potomac and Growth Period are amazing places to work. And the team is very cohesive. It's wonderful not having to clear my points through anyone. You know, I don't have to actually get 7 layers of clearance before I can say something.
Right.
And I found it very liberating.
Right. Well, that's amazing. Well, from your experience, right, how can ESGI Potomac help these individuals who are looking to transition from the federal workforce to the private sector?
We offer a ton of different services. So one of them is ESGI Potomac historically has been an executive search firm, which means that they get contracts from private companies who are looking for new executive level leaders, vice presidents, and et cetera. And in that line of ESGI Potomac, we can help people who have excellent resumes and qualifications for a senior leadership position in the private sector, try to marry them up with the available positions that are out there. Then we also have a professional resume writer on staff, Megan Norris. She will help people tailor their resume for the private sector. The public sector resume through USA Jobs is this 20-page beast. You're supposed to list everything you ever did and all of that. And in the private sector, they expect 2 pages, crisp, direct. it's basically a 5-second experience. Someone or something, maybe AI is going to skim your resume and figure out if you're a good match. So Megan provides excellent services in that. She's a professional resume writer, and she also will review and help update LinkedIn profiles. And then I'm an executive coach, and I am available to help people figure out where they want to land and who they want to be in this next iteration of their life.
Mm-hmm. So with you being part of ESGI Potomac now, could you explain a little bit about how what services you provide to clients?
Sure. So a lot of people aren't familiar with executive coaching. When I say I'm a coach, they think I'm a fitness coach, which clearly, look at me, I am not a fitness coach, nor am I a coach for any sport. But an executive coach, what that person does is they ask deep, probing questions of the client to help them think deeper about their priorities, their skill sets, and really how they can get to that next level, identifying obstacles and ways to get around them. So that's basically what I do as a coach. And I do an initial session for about 15 minutes for free to get a feel for whether the client and I have a good vibe. I know that's a very California term, but
I've done it and I can attest.
But it's super important to have that connection to be able to feel comfortable that you can be direct and honest with the person that you're coaching.
Perfect.
So that's a summary of the coaching.
Yeah, no, sounds
offerings.
great. Thank you. Well, a lot of essential and critical services to provide, especially with all the uncertainty around the economy these days. So I appreciate your time today and giving us a little explanation about yourself and the services that we could provide.
No problem. I enjoyed the conversation. Thanks.
Thank you.